He knew how much being pushed away would take a toll on Tsukishima. He was worried that something really bad had happened with Kageyama. He already knew that the rabbinette liked him, and what had happened in the cafe made it all clear to him. He could tell what was wrong. He knew why Kageyama was ignoring his calls and messages. Why he hasn't found him at the cafe every day like before. Tsukishima could tell that when Safa the cashier girl had kissed him, Kageyama lost it. Really, Tsukishima didn't intend to do such a thing to the rabbinette. He doesn't like Safa in that way. He doesn't have the intention of obtaining such feelings towards anyone. When she had kissed him, he didn't want to make her feel bad or embarrass her. So, he just played along. However, he isn't that type of person at all. Though, he isn't the type of person to reject someone after doing something like that either. When he ruffled her hair, it was only ever a sign of friendship. Tsukishima wouldn't have allowed it to happen if he knew what the outcome would have been like. He had taken notice that Kageyama had run out of the cafe after hearing nothing from him. Meanwhile, Safa hadn't taken notice, not showing much interest. Since then, every single day, Tsukishima attempted to call and send messages to Kageyama. Every single time, he was ignored. It broke his heart. For the very first time, he's finally gotten to know someone who he could say things he wouldn't say to anyone else. Kageyama is the very first person he would run to if he needed help. He is the one Tsukishima would let his guard down with. Who knows how Tsukishima would have been like if Kageyama hadn't gone up to him that first day at the cafe. And after learning that Kageyama was his childhood friend, Tsukishima felt a lot closer to the boy. There was no way he was going to lose him again. He wasn't going to allow himself to forget about him again, even if it causes further damage to his memory. And that's what he was going to do. Pulling on a sweater and his shoes, Tsukishima walked out of his room, ignoring the fact that his phone was ringing. Safa calling him, definitely to hang out. He sighed as he opened the front door to his house as he left. Waiting for the call to pass by while walking down the sidewalk, Tsukishima looked up at the sky. The white fluffy clouds reminded him of the whipped cream that the people at the cafe sometimes put on coffee. However, it also reminded him of Kageyama. A happy yet sad-filled smile curved up with the corners of his mouth. The ringing from his phone soon came to a stop. Letting out a relieved sigh, Tsukishima pulled out his phone and went through his contacts, immediately finding Kageyama's number. "Please answer," Tsuki silently pleaded, silently wishing that the rabbinette he couldn't stop thinking about would answer him. As he walked down the sidewalk, the blonde listened anxiously as his phone kept ringing, finding himself calling once again after going to voicemail, and again, up until he found himself standing in front of Kageyama's house. Even after calling so many times, Tsukishima wasn't going to give up, not until he could get his friend back. Even then, Tsukishima was confused. Is Kageyama really his friend? Deep down, why does his heart ache every time he can't see the rabbinette? Deep down, why does Tsukishima dream about Kageyama every single night, in a way a so-called friend should? It always contained the very same thing, cuddling on the couch while watching a movie, hugging each other tightly underneath the warm blankets, sharing giggles and deep, loving conversations, kissing each other under the beautiful moonlight, being intimate with each other in bed. It was all the same, over and over again. Tsukishima figured it was just his mind playing tricks on him, trying to confuse him, making him believe that he thinks of Kageyama as more than just a great friend of his, making him question his sexual orientation, his true feelings. He figured it was only due to missing Kageyama so much that he didn't know how to feel. However, the more constant it got, the more Tsukishima came to realize. He wasn't sure, really. However, he was sure that he wasn't going to stop chasing after Kageyama until he got him back, until he got the very thing that made his life worth living. To be continued.